Alright, and ladies and gentlemen, I am here, your host, Insane Leader 13, as we're preparing to get underway for a 10th round of XRL's X2 division here at Silverstone. We'll be looking underway. It will be a roughly 16 car field for today's race. We may get a 17th driver in the mid segment of qualifying. Oh, as I say that, we just got a 17th driver there. Real quickly, looking through the grid right now, Fine Waldo will be representing the Mercedes camp, and the Red Bull will be XRL Zola and XRL Shikari. Ferrari will be represented by Rimsco and BTEC 11. McLaren will see XRLO and BG Bull Beast in their camp. Williams Racing will be represented by Air Max 8841 and Ryan Hurricane. Aston Martin will have Mr. Neon behind the wheel. AlphaTauri will be represented by XRL Pelly. Alpine will be XRL Dragon and exits the spot. The Alfa Romeo camp will be XRL Veloce and K18 CFC. And the Haas camp will be represented by Franz W31 and BRT Jacob. The drivers are beginning to ready up, and we should be getting underway shortly here. There we are. Now we're starting to ready up as everyone's hitting that ready to go button here. Yeah, we are looking at possibly two more drivers joining in the middle of qualifying, so we should be looking at an 18 to 19 car grid for today's race. But first round qualifying actually going to have some real impact, even if no one else joins. 17 drivers trying to fight for 15 spots to get into Q2. Come on. Still in the waiting/loading screen here. Now we get onto the circuit. We're anticipating no rain throughout any stages of the qualifying or the race itself today. No movement yet to get out onto the racetrack, interestingly enough. So a bit of a prolonged wait at the moment. As I say that, I see a McLaren making its way down pit lane. That would be XRL Low, who's going to try and be the first person to get a lap in the first round of qualifying. Find Waldo going ahead and serving a qualifying ban, so he will not be partaking in qualifying. Will be relegated to a last or near last spot in today's race. Now we're seeing a few more people shifting out of pit road, but a good minute had already been burnt before anyone took to the track, so we could be in a scenario where that time becomes problematic later on in the closing stages of the race. Right now it looks like one driver will probably be dropped. Also, rumor is that BG Bullbeast is also may have to serve a qualifying ban as well. But as I say that, he's already coming out onto the circuit, so I'm not sure what's going on there. Extra low out on track. He'll be the first driver to get a lap in. Dragon's already come out onto the circuit. He's in the Alpine for today's X2 race. BTEC 11 is out on track, as is Ryan Hurricane, as he's taking his Williams down through Sector 3 right now. Rimsco is on a lap, as well as is K18 CFC. So we're going to go ahead and ride silently for a lap on board with Rimsco in the Ferrari and see what a flying lap is like here at Silverstone in the Scuderia Ferrari machine. Alright, so Rim takes the Ferrari to the top of the timesheets at that 129.4 lap time. There's been a spin. That is a Alpine, I believe, who has gotten sideways there. That's a Williams. I'm sorry, that's Air Max, who is sideways just as he was about to start his lap. And he's going to have to get up to speed real quickly if he wants the proper flyer going. And he's been disqualified. What? Dragon now goes to the top of the 29.192. This is Ryan Hurricane, his teammate, who is in the middle of a flying lap right now. And he gets invalidated. Bullbeast is invalidated this lap. Shikari in the middle of something right now with the Red Bull camp. And that is the Haas of France, who has just had a spin now in Sector 2. Finally gets back underway once a little hole opens up in traffic there. Mr. Neon in the Aston Martin has come out onto the track and is beginning to circle. Ryan now crossing the line. 133.9 that lap. We are anticipating that he should be able to put down a faster lap time though. And he spins in turn 1. So both of the Williams drivers absolutely struggling today. Bullbeast now retires in the pit lane. So all that worry and all that concern about drivers not advancing to the next round has been invalidated. All the remaining 14 drivers will advance into Q2 without issue. So now it's just a matter of get out there and get a time and you'll be fine. Already invalidated for Ryan. Mr. Neon in the middle of the lap right now. Also, Jacob and Zola have come out onto the circuit to get laps going. Zola finished 4th in the X3 race about an hour to go today after starting 3rd. So we are anticipating him to put on some sort of respectable show today. At least respectable, if not outright great. Rim retires in the pit lane with that 129.4. Dragon currently at the top of the 29.1 at the moment. As we see Neon as he navigates that Aston Martin through Maggots and Beckett's. It was Aston Martin that was the first to cross the line in the X3 race, although on time penalties it was still a second place finish. Went 22 laps on a set of hard tires. And that is a Haas that has had a spin, apparently. That's Franz. Yeah, Franz has had a spin out of the final corner. And that's really going to compromise this lap. And that lap wouldn't have been very good either, 140 because of that spin. He's getting underway now, but this is not going to be a properly fast lap. Again, doesn't have to worry too much about it because now all 14 drivers are guaranteed to advance to the next round. But still, that suggests some instability with that car. Invalid already. So the Haas drivers both seem to be struggling out here to get a proper lap in. Jacob out of Maggots and Beckett's, who has a 109.314 at the end of Sector 2 there. As Jalebin retires in the pits because he also knows that he is guaranteed a spot in the next round of quals. So just getting a lap right now seems to be the biggest struggle at the moment for a large number of these drivers. So 35.2 is the best that Jacob can put up at the moment. That's better than nothing. X hits the spot, is now making his way down pit lane. Franz in the middle of another lap. K18 now retires in the pits. Interesting gear setup by Franz going through those corners. And that is a spin. Oh, wow. And that's the Alfa Romeo. That would be Veloce having a spin on his outlap right in front of Franz. Franz does not seem to be worried about that whatsoever. He's still plowing on like nothing's happened. Through the S's now. Powers out, 104.442, so we should be, I at least expected a little bit faster from Franz. But again, no need to really push hard between Bullbeast and Fine Waldo serving qualifying ban. Oh, and Franz now gets invalidated. But between Air Max's DSQ and then Waldo and Bullbeast both having qualifying bans, you set a time and you're into the next round. Veloce now in the middle of his lap. Tracks calm down a lot, not as many cars on the circuit at the moment. Jacob, 128.230 at the moment. Only 7.829. Venus Sector 1 now. Zola retires in the pits. Only 7 drivers have been able to set times thus far in the session. Although, as I said, that Mr. Neon's coming to the line to begin his flyer. And I believe that's Ryan Hurricane, who's also about to get a lap in. Ryan has spent earlier and validated. And no, he's still not able to get a lap, so that must not have been a valid lap. As we watch Veloce, as he sends it. Winner of the shortened X3 season in the prior game. We see the Haas of BRT Jacob now come into the pits. And Franz, his teammate, will join him. As coming out of the final corner is Veloce, and he will set a lap time 128.376. Now Jacob retires. Veloce, second fastest on the grid right now. Our focus now moves to exits the spot, low on fuel, so this is a single lap run for him, I believe. Ryan Hurricane, interestingly enough, has gone 6 laps on the set of softs that he's on right now. Big twitch by X going into that final chicane. But he will cross the line, 130.139. That's the 8th best time thus far. Neon coming to the line as well to get his lap in. He'll set a 129.813. That's the 8th best time thus far. And Ryan finally retires his Williams into pit lane. Sha'Carri, the next driver to keep an eye on. Will he be able to get a lap in? This right now is just his out lap. Ignore what the scoring says. This is Sha'Carri's out lap. That yellow flag is for excess of spot as he is low on fuel and kind of coasting through Maggots and Beckett's right now, but he should not be hampering anyone's laps at the moment. Veloce now retires in the pits. I'm seeing movement in pit lane. I believe that's just Veloce, and they're bringing that car into the pit box. DRS pops up, and he's the only car on track right now, but as I say that, Franz W31 is coming back out into the circuit. But Sha'Carri, relatively clean track, shouldn't be too much of an issue for him to get a lap in. Time's running out, though, and we still have several drivers who have yet to set times. And there is a risk that the game, if you're not able to get a time before the session is over, there is a risk that the game will not allow you to advance to the next round of qualifying. Sha'Carri goes 8th with the 129.724. Still waiting on Pelly and Ryan Hurricane to get back out onto the circuit here. Fuel light flashing just a bit. Neon now retires in the pits. Also, Ryan Hurricane has finally come out onto the circuit. But for him, it's going to be close if he's going to make it to the line in time to get a proper lap in. Franz, we know, will have one shot at this lap. Shikari have an incident? Now, I'm guessing Shikari's just ran excessively slow. Okay. Will Ryan Hurricane make it to the line in time to get a lap in? That's the question. And then once he does start his lap, because it does look like he's going to make it to the line just with enough time, will he be able to keep it clean for the flyer? He ran 6 laps earlier on a set of softs, and not a single one of them counted. Franz, still in the middle of something that's legal. Big lockup on all 4 tires by Ryan. But he will get to the line in time to get one shot at this. Focus though. Mayan Franz has invalidated his lap, and that could have some massive impact. He may not be allowed to advance to the next round of qualifying. What about Ryan? As the time's up in the first round of qualies. Ooh, big twitch there on acceleration. Did Franz have an accident? Yes, Franz has had an accident. Huh. He's back underway now. .104.153 at the end of Sector 2 for Ryan. Now the final corner, Ryan will be the 12th and final driver to set a time in the session. And what a time it was. It took him right to the top of the timesheets. Took him 7 laps to do it. But Ryan Hurricane slots his Williams at the top of the timesheets with a 128.226. Only 4 thousandths faster than Jacob. But that says something. And I'm wrong. It looks like Pelly and Franz and Waldo will all be allowed to advance to the next round. All right, and already Fine Waldo Franz retiring. So 13 drivers fighting for 10 positions here in the final rounds of qualifying. And it looks like it's going to be a Alfa Romeo of K18, followed right afterwards by Veloce. They'll be the first duo to get out onto the circuit. And now Ryan Hurricane retires in the pits as well. So yeah, only 12 drivers fighting for 10 positions. And a lot of drivers have been showing to have struggles actually getting proper laps in. Now we've seen both of the Alpines come out at the same time on track, as do both of the Ferraris, so some DRS shenanigans likely going to get underway here. And alright, so K18 aborts his lap. I would have still gone for it, but Veloce, his teammate, will keep going for it. X is the spot right behind his teammate Dragon right now, but they're not quite close enough to be getting draft off of each other. Again, only 12 drivers vying for 10 positions. And the track's not super busy at the moment. As I say that, there's another Haas coming down off of pit lane. That would be BRT Jacob, as France is already retired. Veloce sets the time, 129.126. That's what everyone's going to be gunning for here. X is actually not closed on Dragon this lap, so he will not be able to get any sort of significant draft off of his teammate. Dragon will set the second time of the session here. And it looks like it will be a 129.194, so that's second best. X hits the spot crosses at the 128.780, so he pulled out a lot of time at the end there. He brings the times back down to the 28s. Here come the Ferrari drivers now. BTech11 has invalidated his lap. His teammate Rim, though, has not. He'll set a 128.994. That's the second best thus far. And now here comes Zola. .129.204. And that is Jacob, who has had an incident early on his flyer. Not going to help him, to say the least. And he is not the only one. Dragon has had a spin in the exact same place that he spun out twice at in the first 2 laps of the X3 race. XRL low, now beginning his lap, as Jalebin has invalidated another shot. At the end of Sector 1, 128.006. Jacob coming to the line. He had a spin at the start of this lap, so this is going to be way off pace. But 146.568 is, I guess, better than nothing. Low, very low, hot on fuel. So a question with him is going to be, will he commit to this lap? Well, he's going to have to come in now because he invalidates at Maggotts and Beckett's. So focus now goes to K18. He's invalidated, so the focus goes to Mr. Neon. 104.5 at the end of Sector 2. He's low on fuel, but should be able to make it back to the pits. He'll set a time 128.726. And Mr. Neon brains the Aston Martin to the top of the timesheets. Grim retires in the pits. Sha'Carri on an out lap, about to start a flyer here. And it will be clean track ahead for him. So we'll just ride on board silently with the Red Bull for this. Watch him master at his craft. And there you are. Sha'Carri sets a 129.269. Only 65 thousandths off of his teammate Zola, so very, very comparative times to the Red Bull drivers. K18 still on circuit right now. He'll set a time 128.824. That puts him up to third overall. 9 of our 12 potential drivers have set laps. Jacob will likely want to come out on circuit sooner rather than later to try to go a bit faster. Pelly in the AlphaTauri still on pit lane. And there we are, low 130.173 has been his best lap thus far. That was just an out lap. What can he do now on a proper flyer? Also, Jacob is finally on an out lap, trying to get a little bit of speed up right now, so he can improve, hopefully instead of a lap without that spin, harming it. The AlphaTauri of Pelly still on pit lane, has not yet come out onto the track. I believe that is K18, who is the Alfa Romeo who is coming down pit lane right now. Veloce on track trying to go faster. He is currently the only man at 27, 27.7. 105.022 for low at the end of Hector 2. Across the line, Jalebin, 129.849. Low, big drift, but he saves it, gathers it back up. It'll be in the 30s more than likely, 129.938. So Jacob now on the outside looking in, and there's been a spin. That is Dragon, who has spun again in the same part of the track. But Jacob now maybe trying to push the McLaren of Lowe out. Pelly still has yet to come out onto the circuit. Jacob up by over 15.5 seconds. He only has to keep gaining more and more time, though. He needs to be up by 17 seconds if he wants to get ahead of Lowe. 3 minutes left on the clock, so only about 2 flying laps left. .1 seconds up, so Jacob is closing the gap down. He's got a draft off of Jalebin ahead of him as well. And Jalebin is going to come into the pits, so the second Ferrari driver feels safe with his time right now. And across the line goes Jacob. He will set a 127.522. Outstanding! And Lowe knocks Jalebin out, and Jalebin now has less than 2 minutes on the clock. That could have been it. The choice by the Ferrari drivers to bring him into the pits. Yeah, he's retired. That's it. He is out, and qualifying is over because there's not going to be enough time, I think, for the AlphaTauri of Pelly to get out onto the circuit. So qualifying is basically over. And Lowe, the commitment to that second lap absolutely paid off, and he is in. And of 15 drivers who made it to this round, only 11 set times. So right now we're just waiting for our drivers to go ahead and stop into pits for the most part. Although it looks like Zola and Sha'Carri do want to go ahead and commit to going for faster laps. It's a bold strategy. You run the risk of just damaging the car, and you're burning up another set of soft tires that you could potentially use in the event of a late race yellow. And there we are, Sha'Carri, 129.269 is the best he can put down. And Zola is down on time as well. No, actually, Zola's up just a bit. Zola might try to jump ahead of Dragon on the timesheets. Across the line, Zola does move up one position in the end, but relatively calm round of qualifying in both Q1 and Q2. And there's your results. 10 drivers advance, but only 11 of them are able to set time, so we could be looking at a very interesting scenario in the race itself with rapidly stacking time penalties. It's not what I wanted, game. And the first driver to get on circuit in this session, XRL Lowe in the McLaren machine. Half the field already out on circuit, and Veloce has a spin almost right away. Interesting stuff here as K18 is right behind Dragon's Alpine. He finally backs out, but that's not going to help K18's tire life for sure. At this point, 8 of our 10 drivers are all out on circuit trying to get laps in here. The only exceptions being Shikari and Jacob. So we're going to go ahead, ride silently for a lap on board with XRL Veloce. See what he can put down here around Silverstone in the final round of qualifying, the shootout for pole position. Oh, that was a big twitch, and that will compromise the lap significantly. Yeah, you can tell Veloce knows this lap's not going to be it. Another big slide. You can't say he's not hustling it, as we now see the Haas of Jacob come out into the track. So now our focus goes to Lowe, as he'll be the first driver to cross the line to set a lap. Here in the final round of qualifying, he'll set the time that everyone else will be trying to chase for a while. Oh, and Dragon's crashed out! Dragon has had an accident in Maggots and Beckett's. Well, actually coming out of Maggots and Beckett's. That's quite a ways down the line. Veloce will be the second driver to set time as Lowe sets the 29.059, but we've seen drivers get into the 27s. I don't think this man's going to be it, though. Alright, and coming to the party right now is XRL Dragon. Dragon, go ahead, include your audio. Big accident. Are you going to need another limb replacement after that hit?
No, I think this one's glued and stitched on pretty well. Just overestimated how far I was going to drift out, hook the curb, around she went, slam, bam, thank you, ma'am.
Alright, well, you're still guaranteed a spot in the top 10, so you're going to be starting midfield in today's race. Do you think you have a car under you that can get you into the points?
Not a chance. Not a chance. I'm going to be completely honest with you. I don't expect a points finish. If a points finish happens, that'll be wonderful for me. I hope it does. Just with the speed and quality of drivers in here today, I'm not hoping for much, but if it happens, okay, so much the better.
Alright, well, you're bluntly honest. I can respect that for sure. Hopefully things turn out well for you then today, mate, because you know I'm always going to be cheering for you. So,
Indeed,
good luck out there today.
Alright, I appreciate that. See you at race end, hopefully.
Yep, hopefully. Alright, that's the word from XRL Dragon. BRT Jacob still out on circuit right now, and that is Mr. Neon, who has had a spin now, and Magnussen Bexel. He's already getting back underway, so he's not going to compromise Jacob's lap. .128.519 for Veloce, so it took an extra lap after that big twitch he had, but Veloce finally goes back to the top of the timesheets where he thinks he belongs. Jacob now coming through the final chicane. He'll be the 5th driver to set a time in the session. And it will be a time of 127.189. Jacob to the top. Zola's invalidated this lap, and he's very low on fuel, so he's not going to go again. And the track will go silent for a moment, as both Jacob and Veloce will be on cooldown laps. No, maybe Jacob won't be, but I imagine he would be. Yeah, Jacob's on cooldown lap as well. So yeah, calmness on the circuit for the moment. But as I say that, Lowe in the McLaren is already making his way back out onto the circuit. This could potentially be good timing. He won't have to worry about drivers on in-laps. He'll just have to worry about drivers coming out on track ahead of him when he begins his flyer. Now we're seeing a Haas coming back out. That's Jacob, who apparently thinks he can go even faster than a 27.1. So now he begins his flyer. Jacob, I was wrong. I misread it. I'm sorry. He came to a stop in his box. I forgot that the Haas's box was at the end. Ferrari Rim has already come out on circuit. He's going to try and go fast. But for right now, Lowe, completely clean track ahead of him. And Lowe, will he go faster? The answer is yes, he will. Jumps up to third to 28.537, so an improvement of over half a second. Big off there on his cooldown lap, but it's not going to matter. Lowe has gotten a better lap in, and with less than 2 minutes left, we have a horde of drivers all rushing to get out onto the track. This could become problematic for the likes of Zola or, ooh, wow, Rim right there caught in the middle of all this traffic. But yeah, we have 4 drivers who are waiting till the last possible moment to set their times. And for the likes of Zola, I don't know if he's going to make it to the line in time to get a lap in. X crosses the line now. He's in the middle of his flyer, so I think he's probably timed it really well. Although he's only going to get 1 shot. It's the big thing. All these drivers here, they're only going to get 1 shot at this lap. Rim is guaranteed at least 9th, if not better, as he now navigates his Ferrari through Maggots and Beckett's. And he invalidates. And that's going to be it, because I don't think Rim's going to make it to the line in time for another flyer. Oh, actually, I'm wrong. He will. He will make it in time for another flyer. So Rim gets 1 more shot at it, but he's going to be held up behind Mr. Neon, potentially. Now X navigates his way through the S's. .904. Alfa Romeo comes across the line to begin his flying lap. And time's up over Plow here in qualifying. Out of the final corner, the Alpine of X will go ahead set at 29.4. That's good enough for 6th best. Shikari will be the next driver to cross the line. Very low on fuel, but he doesn't have to worry about that. He just needs to get to the line. And he will set a 128.587. That's the 4th best time thus far. Here comes K18, and then after him will be Zola, who did make it in time to get 1 lap in. K18's teammate Veloce is 2nd fastest right now, so we know the Alfa Romeo has speed. What can he bring out of it? 27.820, so that's the 2nd best time from K18. Here comes Zola. Rim retires in the pit, so he's not trying to go faster. Neon's going to cross the line, but does not improve his laps at all. Zola, 128.691. That's good enough for 6th. Veloce, he's up by... Oh, he could take pole back. Jacob, though, goes 27.074. And we had a change. One last change at the last moment. But Veloce cannot knock Jacob up the top. But absolutely outstanding run to the bottom of the 27s. Jacob, 127.0. So now it's just to wait until we get underway. For the race itself. So while we wait, we're going to go ahead and look over the championship standings as they are right now. In the manufacturers, this is what it looks like. 10th is Williams with 48 points. 9th is McLaren with 49. 8th is Aston Martin with 63. 7th is Ferrari with 69. Nice points. 6th is Haas with 85, which brings them into a tie with Alpine for 5th. 4th is Mercedes with 88 points. 3rd is Red Bull with 92. 2nd is the AlphaTauri team with 114 points. At the top right now, Alfa Romeo with 135 points. In the Drivers' Championship, this is what it looks like, though. 18th is Edgar with 2. 17th is XRLO with 5 points. 16th, Manny was here with 6. 15th is XRL Ozza with 9 points. There's a tie for 13th between Remisco and BTEC Gilebin. Both of the Ferraris have 14 points each. 12th is Exits the Spot. He has 18 points. 11th is XRL Breeze with 20. 10th is our Team English with 27. 9th is Air Max with 29. 8th is XR Young with 36. 7th is Mr. Neon with 7. 7th is Mr. Neon with 42 points. 6th is XR Shakira with 44. There's a tie for 4th between XR Veloci and XR Chapil with 48 points each. 3rd is Jay Biscan with 63 points. 2nd is K18 CFC with 69. And with a massive lead in the drivers' points, XR Pelli 108 on top coming into this race. There we are. Oh, interesting. Jacob might start this race on hard rubber, as could Exits the Spot, and Franz, and Bullbeast. Again, single stop race, medium to hard. Medium to hard is typically considered to be the best strat, but we have 4 drivers who may consider starting, well, 3 drivers now, who might consider starting on medium rubber instead of hard rubber instead of medium rubber. They'll take the hit with the slower period getting up to speed, and instead go for having more pace at the ending stage of the event. All right. Okay, that's weird. Alright, so in the end, these are the drivers running on an alternate strat. Air Max will be starting last, will be on hards, as will Bull Beast, who will also be starting near the back of the grid. France will be starting near the rear, will also be starting on hards, but everyone else is on medium until you get to this man here, BRT Jacob, who will be on the pole position, starting on hard tires. And this could have some major implications going forward. Back in the field, once again, really far off from the leaders, so any heat that the leaders do get into their tires will be reduced a bit due to how much longer they'll be waiting while standing still there. Alright, coming out into the line now. That's some shenanigans. Alright, so prepare to get underway as the field takes their spots on the grid. 17 drivers for a 50% race here at Silverstone. Jacob, starting on the hards, will be slower off the line than everyone else. As the lights are going, 4 lights, 5 lights. As lights out, away we go, and no one in the top 4 had a good start whatsoever. Look at Sha'Carri, he's gonna make it 4 wide for position. He backs out the last moment, but they're still side by side for a lead between K18 and Jacob. And in the end, K18 has the lead. Yellow flag as Zola goes around farther back, and Jacob goes around with K18. K18 gets smacked, he smacks into the Haas, and now the Haas makes contact with it again. And our top 2 starters have accidents on the start that drop them right to the back of the grid. Mr. Neon has also had an incident. He has gone around as well, and he's not the only one. Rim in the Ferrari has also gone to the back of the field. Chaos throughout the entire grid, and it is Veloce and Sha'Carri who now hold the top positions. Franz and Bulbies, who started midfield to the rear of the grid on hards, are now up to 6 and 7, and X has just taken a spin as well. Well, not a spin, but it looks like he had a bad run because he's now been overtaken by those drivers on hards as well. That's his teammate Dragon behind him. But chaos and confusion at the start. And K18 and Jacob contact going down through the slower sections of the track, and they just kept hitting each other and kept hitting each other. And I think there's a possibility that K18 may have to pit to repair that wing damage. I think Jacob will be fine though, as Pele now navigates his way by Dragon. Yeah, indeed, K18 will have to pit. And Veloce, fastest driver on track right now, and leading by a significant margin. Exits the spot, looks to the inside of Bullbeast, trying to get back by him. Bullbeast, though, worse tires for now, but has a long-term strategy advantage. And Rim also has to pit to repair damage to his car as well. So both those drivers jump on hards. They'll have to jump on some mediums again later in the event, as we see Bullbeast and Franz making overtakes on each other there. Bullbeast now ahead of Franz and the Haas, so McLaren's running 3rd and 5th at the moment. While Veloce has opened up a 2+ second gap on Sha'Carri, who has a 2-second gap on Lowe as well. X is steaming up there behind Franz at this section of the track, basically the entirety of Sector 2 after you exit that DRS zone. These are not overtaking corners, but Jalebin seems to be extremely slow and it's backed up the entire field behind him. Bulby's there, Franz is there. Oh, big crash right in front of them! Right in front of them, there's contact! And Jalebin, he'll be able to keep going. I don't think anyone hit him, but that had some massive knock-on effects there, because now Franz is here, Pele is here, X has actually lost positions from that. Bulby's now up in the 4th, Pele now in 5th. This race feels more like an X3 race than the X3 race did. Yellow flag, Sector 3, that's Airmax, who has had a spin. Same place he had a spin in disqualification and qualifying at. He does get back underway now, but he could lose 14th even to Zola. DRS now enabled, and there's this massive train from about 4th on back to 11th. Every one of these cars has DRS on each other. Waldo to the inside of Dragon, but there doesn't seem to be anyone else who's in a position to do anything right now. Pelly needs to try and close the gap down on Bullbeast, otherwise he'll be under threat from Franz. Right on board with Dragon as he watches this entire group of cars, an entire contingency, making their way through these S's here. Looks like everyone's going to navigate their way safely through them this time, though. No spins. Ryan has a run on X, but again, everyone in this group has DRS, so no one's really in a position to do anything to the drivers ahead. Franz, though, trying to make progress on Pelly, but Pelly has caught Bullbeast, and Pelly, for the moment, still has the advantage when it comes to tire life. Yellow flag farther back, that's Mr. Neon, who has had a spin, and will drop him to 15th. And Rim has had an instant as well. And as all this continues, Veloce continues to scoot away from the rest of the field here. Again, no one in this group seems to be able to make any moves on the drivers ahead of them. Dragon has completely lost touch with the top 10 at this point. So everyone from 4th on back to 10th, all within striking range, but because everyone's on striking range, everyone's on offense, no one can really do anything, and everyone's offense kind of parlays themselves into a defense. That's kind of the nature of the DRS game. As we run on board, find Waldo this time as he runs at the back of this gigantic DRS train that goes from 3rd to 10th. Bullbeast gets by his teammate Low there for 3rd. And here's a move just ahead. Hurricane and Nexus spot fighting, and Jacob will take advantage, run the Alpine of X wide, and now here comes Waldo to the inside in the Mercedes. And they're side by side ahead, and there's contact! And Ryan Hurricane, and there's still 3 wide, still making contact. Waldo now up into 8th due to all that. He's trying to hold X behind him. But all that fighting meant that Jacob now is ahead of this group, and Franz has opened up the gap on him. So Jacob recovering slowly but surely from the instant earlier. Bullbeast is charging down on 2nd place Shikari now. Franz there behind Pelly. Pelly still sees Low, and Low is actually closes just a bit on Bullbeast in the straights, but is slower in the corners, it would appear. As it would be in this scenario where you're running in someone else's aero wake, causing you to burn up the front tires a lot quicker. And Rim is the first driver to get a time penalty today. They're in 17th. Dragon, due to all that fighting, has actually caught the rear of the top 10 again, but he does not seem to quite have the pace, like he said in the interview during qualifying. He does not think he has the pace to fight for a points-paying position. That seems to be the case. DRS can only get you so far. If you're not fast enough around the rest of the circuit, it's not going to be an automatic, hey, free top 10 or anything. Oh, and there goes Low, who has just spun in the middle of the track. And he's not the only one. That is Waldo, who has spun as well and hit him. We stay green, but Waldo and Low both spin out of the top 10. And Waldo has wing damage, and I think Low may have damage as well. So Bullbeast now up into 3rd and continues to close in on Shikari in 2nd. Ryan Hurricane trying to make something happen to exits the spot now. He sees the move, Does not commit to it because it's a too high risk of one. Franz also has a time penalty. They're in 5th at the moment. This is setting up to be an easy DRS overtake by Ryan Hurricane if he can keep it together through the S's here. Bullbeast now by Shikari. Wow, Bullbeast is picking him up and laying him down faster than I'm anticipating. As Franz goes around the outside of Peli, just barely cuts him off. Bullbeast on the hard tires, running everyone except Veloce down. And he set the fastest lap on hards. So Bullbeast could be a serious threat to win this race because he still has yet to get on his best set of tires. Veloce's already on his best set. Yeah, Bullbeast is up 14 positions from race start right now. Ryan has the advantage over X. X uses DRS to try and close in, but can't do anything to him, although it does provide him his fastest Sector 1 thus far in the race. So I think at this point, the medium tires are losing their ability, and those who are still on hards are actually gaining time. For Jacob, this would have been great news for him if he didn't have that contact with K18 at the start. Yeah, Franz is burning down the Nicotine Amor to catch Shikari. The problem for Franz, though, is that he has a time penalty against him. Airmax there behind Low, who's behind B-Tech. These drivers, well, Airmax behind Low and Zola behind them both. These drivers are fighting for 11th. And X is going to pit out of the top 10, and Airmax spins. So Zola, now it's just him versus Low. And X has made the transition off of the medium tires a lot earlier than I thought, but we've seen earlier that yes, you can make the hards go a better part 20 laps. We saw that in the X3 race, and that may be the strategy that X is going for. Rim, another spin, and at this rate, he is likely to go a lap down before this race is over. Franz has caught Shikari, and Peli is still behind him. So all three of these drivers, all on top of each other right now. Yeah, Franz is definitely faster than the Red Bull, but has not caught him in an ideal overtaking zone. This should be a great DRS overtake for Franz, and there he goes to the inside, and there it is. Simple, easy to understand. Peli not close enough to capitalize, and although Shikari has his ideal line taken away from him, the AlphaTauri driver is just not close enough to do anything about it. Farther back, Low staying just barely ahead of Zola. Zola has DRS to close back down, but the McLaren had the advantage with clean air going through the S's, and that means he could exit well enough that he was able to have a decent defense by getting on the accelerator smoother than Zola did. The fight for third continues. Franz now ahead of Shikari. Shikari trying to stay within DRS range of that Haas driver. Peli now closing on Shikari, but Shikari has DRS as a defense, and that neuters the AlphaTauri's ability to make a move for now. Meanwhile, Zola there behind Low. At this point, this is now a fight for 10th due to X's pit stop, and he jumped onto soft tires, so I think Rim is either counting on having a lot more instance, and he's just going to go soft to soft to soft to soft to the end, or he's counting on a yellow flag to get him back onto the lead lap. But Zola trying to go around the outside of the McLaren, He's gonna make it stick, possibly. Yes, Zola by low. That was a long fight, but he has made it past him. And now here comes Waldo with speed. Does he throw it up the inside? No, he thinks better of it. Oh, big twitch by the McLaren. You can tell Lowe is not very happy with that car in dirty air, and Waldo should have a great run on the exit. DRS for both of them. Here comes Waldo, dives to the inside, and then pulls back out of it. This fight continues. Shikari now still ahead of Pelly as France is walking away, but Jacob has caught the rear of this fight. And Pelly seems to be struggling to put the power down as quickly as he wants to. And Rim has retired coming into the pits. As we're seeing lots of drivers in the rear of the grid beginning to make their stops. That's Lowe is one of them. Pelly there behind the AlphaTauri. Pelly there behind the Red Bull. Both the same engine manufacturer. Now got DRS. This should be, in theory, an easy overtake going into the corner. He goes to the inside. Sends it. Well, Shikari is still fighting on Strawn. They'll be side by side going into the final chicane, and that will give the advantage to Pelly, though. Although Shikari comes back and fights back on the inside. And while that fighting means that Jacob just scoots by them both. And now Jacob takes his shot at Pelly. So Jacob right there behind Pelly. Now he has DRS, and he'll clear him. So Jacob now back in the top 5 after the lap 1 first sector incident between him and K18. And that should pretty much bring an end to the on-track fighting for the moment. The focus now becomes when does everyone start pitting? Because while Pelly will have DRS to close back in on Jacob, Jacob, with the hard tires and fresh air, can go a lot more aggressively. And Veloce pitting out of the lead. So BG Bullbeast will inherit the top spot. He has yet, though, to swap onto the medium tires. But when he does, Bullbeast will then have the advantage to race end. In fact, a lot of drivers who were on mediums earlier now jumping on hards. Zola in the pits as well. Well, I'm sorry, Zola not in the pits, but Zola gets a time penalty as he does come into the pits. Jacob now up into 3rd overall. France in 2nd, and Bullbeast leads. Pelly still holding on to the top 3. He's taking these medium tires a little longer than I think anyone was anticipating. Veloce back out on circuit. It is clean track ahead. France closing in on Bullbeast. Within DRS striking range of the McLaren. Not quite halfway through, so I imagine these drivers on the hards will stay out for a couple of extra laps. Pelly's pitting, so Veloce will move back up into 4th. But this fight for a lead could have a massive knock-on effect on who actually wins this race, because if Bullbeast and Franz spend way too much time holding each other up on these worn hards, then the advantage will go back to Veloce, who is cruising on fresh hards. Pelly is swapped onto hards, and Mr. Neon is also pitted, so everyone will now be on hard tires for a brief moment. But these drivers in the top 3 positions have yet to put on the medium rubber. Franz is there. Oh, but Franz gets another time penalty. And a very poor exit out of Maggots and Beckett's. Jacob continues to close on this duo all the while. At this point in this fight, I think Bullbeast has the overall advantage. He's able to get onto the throttle so much smoother, and he's able to control the car a lot more through the corners because he doesn't have any bad, dirty air over the front wing. Veloce has just set the fastest lap, though, in 4th, 130.972. Air Max now making a stop, so he'll be the first of the drivers who've been on the hards for a while. He'll be jumping on mediums. If anything, Franz might be losing touch with the leading McLaren. Oh, and that's Waldo who's had a spin through the final chicane, and that drops Waldo to last on track. Carey now once again needing to hold off the likes of Pelly, and Ryan Hurricane is there as well, watching this duo fight. Big slideways out the rear for Ryan. And Franz is pitting as 2nd now, as Bullbeast continues to stretch out his advantage on the hard tires. Ryan has DRS on Pelly. Pelly has it on Sha'Carri. Dives to the inside, neck and neck going into the corner. And this is a pretty open and shut case for that position, it seems. Ryan just not quite close enough to make a counter move on the Red Bull. But he'll go around the outside instead. Great job by Ryan to make that work. So after the pit stop, Franz is now 8.5 seconds behind Veloce. Jacob continues to be one of, if not the fastest man on track, along with Bullbeast. So the top 3 all fighting each other. Bullbeast and Jacob on merit, although Jacob's trying to recover from a self-inflicted spin at the start. Bullbeast trying to come back from starting near the rear of the grid. And Dragon has had a spin now, and that's right in the middle. And Dragon had just gotten into the points-paying position as well. Now he'll fall out of it. Oh, hurt for him, to say the least. And Bullbeast gets a time penalty for speeding in pit lane. Jacob into the pits right behind him. And Veloce will have not only the lead, but he'll have a great relief against Bullbeast, because Bullbeast now has 5 seconds of time penalty he'll have to serve. So that's great news for the Alfa Romeo driver. Bit of a lockup there. And Veloce, fastest lap, 130.772. Franz, where will he come out in relation to his teammate and the McLaren that he had been fighting? He's just barely ahead of Jacob. And still within striking range of Bullbeast. And all three of these drivers now have medium tires to the end of the race. So Bullbeast will be faster than Veloce, but will he be fast enough to catch him and overtake him? And the big question, in my opinion, is going to be Jacob. Will Jacob be able to get by these two and fight for the win after that self-inflicted lap 1 spin? And then look at this. B-Tech in 10th. Last of the points paying positions. He has Zola right behind him, then Mr. Neon behind him as well. So some DRS shenanigans going on here. Zola running wide, and that's going to let Mr. Neon get to his inside, and Neon clears the Red Bull. So now it will be Mr. Neon who will run the charge against Jalebin. Jalebin, time penalty going into the S's, and that will work very well in Neon's favor. Neon looking, can't get by him that time. And now the Red Bull of Zola tries to see if he can get back by Neon somewhere around here. They stay nose to tail, single file through the final chicane. Again, DRS kicks in, and the Ferrari still has the advantage because that Aston Martin is just not close enough. Lowe goes to the inside and overtakes Dragon, using some DRS though, and we're anticipating Find Waldo will follow suit. As I say that though, the McLaren leaves the inside open for the Alpine to fight back. They're still side by side. One of them's gonna have to back out in this upcoming corner. Who's it gonna be? And neither of them. You're not supposed to be able to go side by side through there. But going into Magnus and Beckett's, it is Dragon who backs out, and it backs Waldo up quite a bit in the process, and Air Max might still have something for him. Oh, contact very nearly. Wow, that got aggressive. But Waldo shoots by Dragon, and now Air Max has a shot at the Alpine driver. And while this continues, Jacob finally clears his teammate Franz for third, and Bullbeast is whittling away the gap between himself and Veloce. But Veloce's fear isn't Bullbeast. Veloce's fear, and Waldo has had another spin in the final chicane, so that brings Dragon back up to 14th. But Veloce's real concern, his real fear, is not Bullbeast at this point, who has a 5-second penalty against him. It is this man, Jacob, who is trying to run back down Bullbeast and then catch Veloce in these final 8 laps. Jacob's already within DRS range of Bullbeast. And while Bullbeast set the fastest lap last circuit, I don't know how much longer it's going to last. Because that Haas is chewing away. Oh, and Lowe now has an incident. And Air Max gets by Dragon in the process. And then Air Max misses the corner and Dragon goes around him on the outside. So a lot of weird fighting going on near the back of the grid. And Bullbeast has another time penalty. So at this point, Bullbeast is just trying to outrun the time penalties he has so he can still bring home a top 3 finish. while Jacob is fighting for a potential win. That Haas is there. The Haas is charging and closing. Likely going to have the run to give him the move coming out of Maggotts and Beckett's this time. Farther back, this is for 10th position. Neon still not able to get by Jalebin. But this move has been completed as anticipated. Jacob, easy overtake on Bullbeast. And Jacob, on fresher medium tires than Veloce's worn hards, is going to be faster than Veloce. But for how long will the mediums hold the advantage over the hards? It's 7 laps to go right now. So Jacob has 7 laps to close down a 5-second gap on Veloce. And then even if he catches him, that's one thing. Overtaking him is going to be totally different. Worms. Oh, wow! And Neon goes around right in front of Zola! Wow! Dragon takes advantage, and now he goes up into 12th. And Jalebin can breathe a sigh of relief. Although the next man to catch him, Air Max, is going to have a lot of speed. K-Teen running there behind Shikari. Doesn't seem like he's able to do anything to him right now, though. And Zola has to pit to repair the damage to his car from that spin after he made contact with Mr. Neon as Neon spun right in the middle of the field. Bullbeast still running behind Jacob. Although he goes into the dirt there, and while he has DRS and can use that to try and counter that, it's still not going to help him. But Jacob now has, when they get to the line, he'll have 6 laps to make up a 4-second deficit, less than 4-second deficit. Jacob is flying. I think Jacob's going to pull that classic Danny Sullivan style spin and win here. Franz pits out of 4th, so there might be damage to his car. As K-Teen now completes a pass on Shikari. So Shikari is fading. Franz pitting for softs, interestingly enough. I guess Franz realized they didn't have a shot for the win anymore, so he decided to instead go for fastest lap point. He is now 9th. Will likely catch exits the spot and Shikari before race ends. Jacob continues to just chew the gap apart between himself and Veloce. And one thing that's not going to help Veloce is that he's going to be catching Zola relatively shortly here. The only thing that Veloce can help for is that Jacob and Bullbeast start fighting for position. Neon has had another spin, this time in the final chicane. DRS working in Bullbeast's favor and keeps him in touch with that Haas. But he does not, I don't know if he just doesn't have the ability or if he's not going to seriously try to go for the spot. Alright, real quick, I'm going to ramp the telemetry because I want to see what ERS is for our top 3. Bullbeast is at 46%, Jacob is at 8, Veloce is at 27. So Veloce has a small advantage on ERS. But with 4 laps to go, Jacob has less than 3 seconds to go through right now. He is charging hard on Veloce. I think for Veloce, the best thing he can try and do is just dump the ERS on the straights to keep Jacob from doing a DRS overtake. I think it's going to be the only way Veloce wins this race because Jacob's tires are not falling off fast enough for Veloce. Farther back for 10th. BTEC Glebin has Airmax and Fine Waldo behind him, giving him pressure. Airmax is on Born Mediums. His tires are 2 laps older than the leaders, so if we start seeing Airmax suddenly aggressively lose pace, we'll know that 2 laps after that point, we can expect the same from Jacob and Bullbeast. DRS enabled for Airmax. And the medium rubber means that he's able to get on the power a lot smoother. Low has a spin out behind these guys. But no changes for position here right now. 3 laps to go. The gap is less than 2 seconds between first and second. Neon has another spin. In Zola's credit, because he put on the soft tires, he's actually staying a respectable distance away from the leaders right now. But now Zola has caught Neon for position, and they will be fighting. And this fight will have a knock-on effect on the leaders. Veloce going to have to deal with lap traffic. And when they hit the line, it will be 3 laps to go. Jacob's forward momentum still continues. And that's Airmax, who has just had a spin, and Waldo has pitted. And this moves Dragon up into 11th, but he is too far away from Glebin to do anything to him. Shikari's still running behind X. Franz is not closing on them. Neon pulls off track completely so as not to be problematic for the leaders. Zola still running ahead of Veloce. The gap is 1.6 seconds with 3 laps to go. But more traffic, as that's Fine Waldo, who's on fresh softs. Maybe Veloce will get lucky and can utilize the Mercedes for DRS down the straight to open up the gap a bit. Negative. Will not be able to do it this time. Jacob now has the advantage on ERS, only by 2%, but it's an advantage, and he is still closing on Veloce, but the rate of closure has dropped. If he can get within a second, he'll have DRS advantage, though. Bullbeast, another time penalty in third. So it is just going to be between Veloce and Jacob to the end here. Jacob just outside of the 1 second mark. Now he's closing rapidly. Wow, he just took a huge chunk out of Veloce's time there. No DRS that time, but Veloce is going to have to deal with Jacob charged up on DRS for these last 2 laps. Zola pitting, finally getting out of Veloce's way. Waldo's still on track ahead. The gap is 2/3 with 2 laps to go, and Jacob will have DRS. How can Veloce defend? Jacob with the DRS is right there behind, but could not get alongside going into the braking zone that time. But they are on top of each other in these final 2 laps. Veloce has led the largest part of this race. Jacob recovering from a lap 1 accident. Right on board Bullbeast as he watches the top 2 navigate Maggots and Beckets. This has been where the Haas has gained his biggest amount of time last lap. The advantage is not quite the same this time. And Bullbeast is pressuring Jacob as well, and that's not helping the Haas. Jacob is still there behind Veloce, But as they come to the white flag, the Haas can't seem to find a way alongside. Not yet. Fine Wall has just set the fastest lap of the race. They're nose to tail for the top 3. White flag here at Silverstone. Veloce has a time penalty. It's over. Jacob has won. Unless Jacob gets a time penalty, but I don't think that's going to happen. Jacob wants this on Mary. He looks to the inside. He lines up a potential shot, but just leaves himself open for attack. That's Bullbeast who now goes by. Bullbeast gets by. Bullbeast makes a shot, and Bullbeast spins himself off of Veloce. And Jacob now officially by, as Veloce did spin in the incident. And Jacob will win after a lap 1 spin turns into avoiding a last lap spin. Veloce goes back by Bullbeast, and he's going to be pissed to the end of this race. But Jacob, spin and win to the victory here. A very unexpected result. His fight for second isn't officially over yet, but Veloce has fewer time penalties than the McLaren, so he will come home second. But coming around the final corner, Jacob will cross the line and will take home victory here at Silverstone. Veloce will come across and finish second. Third will go to Bullbeast, who spins out of the final corner. Ryan Hurricane actually gets third in the end, not Bullbeast, so I apologize for that. Pelly will take fourth over Bullbeast. Sixth will go to Exits the Spot. 7th, K18. 18th will go Shikari. 9th goes to Franz. We anticipate 9th goes to Franz. 10th goes to Vitek Gilebend. Alright, and that brings us to the end of our broadcast here. We're trying to see if we can get our race-winning fighters into the party, hear what they had to say. But again, congratulations on Jacob's part for that win. Coming to the party right now is BG Bullbeast. Bullbeast, go ahead and include your audio. Rough day, to say the least. You had podium pace, but could not deliver due to time penalty. Oh, you don't have a mic. Okay. Well, if you have anything to say, you can go ahead and type it out, and I will repeat it aloud. It was a fun race. All right, I will agree with that there. Shockingly, went green from start to end despite a multitude of spins throughout. Congrats to Jacob. Indeed, we're still trying to get word from Jacob, but I'm guessing it's just not going to happen because we're not getting anything here. Does not seem to be able or willing to answer the call. Yeah, Jacob's mic doesn't work right now. Oof. Alright, well, I hate to say it, but that's pretty much... Yeah, I feel bad for Veloci. Yeah, it's a shame about that as well. I hate to say it, but that's probably going to be it for our broadcast here, unless Ryan has anything to say. I've tried to send invites to Ryan as well, but I've not gotten any luck there. But yeah, looks like this will probably be it. Real quickly, everything that Bulby said was it was a fun race. Congrats to Jacob, and he felt bad for Veloce because he had been doing good all race long. I don't know if Ryan's going to join. We know Jacob does not have a working mic, and I'm guessing Veloce probably is outright livid after that finish and is not really in a rush to go ahead and talk post-race. Also, credit to Find Waldo, fastest lap of the day, one of only 3 drivers to set times in the 129s by race end. But yeah, that will wrap up our broadcast here at Silverstone. In a week's time, we'll be back, X3 at 5 p.m. UK time, X2 at 8 p.m. UK time. I'll be covering the X3 race per usual. This is a nice little treat to be able to cover the X2 race, but it's not normal. I do want to say thank you everyone for jumping in and watching with us. Until next time, goodbye.